everyone, it's Renee with Delaney Jane Cards. Welcome back to my channel. Today is my collaboration with Amanda over at Rise and Procraftinate. We do this every month, and I wanted to share a little bit about this, what we're doing this month. We are using the same stamp set and the same stencil. We didn't realize that we have the same stuff, but we do. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right in here. I am using a piece of heat-resistant acetate, and I'm going to stamp this sentiment that says, a little kindness goes a long way, and that's from that Catherine Pooler set. The Catherine Pooler set is called Say It in Diamonds stamp. She actually used this, Amanda actually used this in her video in the Save the Crafty YouTuber hop. I absolutely love what she did. I will have her video that she did linked below so you can check it out. It was super fun, and I was very proud of her for being in that hop. I thought it was really neat. So here I'm just, I left I have the paper just so I could see what I was doing, but I heat embossed that sentiment with some white on this heat resistant acetate. Heat resistant acetate is newer to me. I mean, it's been on the market a while, but newer to me. So I thought I would play with it. When I was editing this video, I will tell you that I was staring at the card thinking, this is an Amanda card. I would expect this card to show up on her channel. So then I took another stamp from this stamp set, and I just stamped it in the bottom corner. I'm using Versamark ink. Every time I emboss on this, I'm using Versamark ink, and I'm using my embossing bag from Scrap Perfect. I like that embossing bag the best. I just get the best embossing that I've ever gotten using that. And I just stamped it on there. I did use my Misty because I figured if I needed to restamp it, I would. I just stamped it in the one corner, flipped it around, and stamped it the other corner, so the opposite corner. And I'm using this Cosmic embossing powder. It's got lots of glitter in it, and it's shiny and blue, and it's super pretty. It's actually called Brilliant Sparkle Blue Zircon. Super beautiful, and it turns out so pretty on this acetate. I wanted to emboss all the things on acetate after I was done with that. And then I wasn't sure what I was going to do, but I needed to pull the stencil in because I was like, sure, I can make a stencil work. We have the same one. I can definitely use it. I decided to kind of pounce on some of this Versamark through the stencil onto another piece of the heat-resistant acetate. I wasn't going for a perfect blend. I just kind of wanted to get the idea of the stencil. Now this stencil is called Circular Motion, and it is from a Colorful Life Designs. It is a newer to me company. My friend Nancy, she's on their design team, and they have some fantastic stencils. I'm sure that there are probably $300 worth of stencils sitting in my online cart for theirs. Basically my wish list, my window shopping. So I just heat embossed this in another blue embossing powder, and this is by Brutus Monroe. It's called Mermaid Tail. It's kind of got a shift to it. I thought it would be really neat on this acetate, and I was right. It's so pretty. The thing that I hadn't talked about is I did have that alcohol ink background that I had. I used a Fun Stamper's Journey folder. I don't know what it's actually called, what the name of it is, but I embossed the Yugo paper, and then I did my alcohol ink background over it. I was screwing around one day, and this is one of those times where you have a background and this is how you're going to use it. So here I'm layering this all. I just thought it would be kind of neat. It would add so much depth, and it's something that Amanda would do. So I took a deckled edge rectangle and a regular rectangle, and I taped them together so I got a frame, and I die cut it, I want to say 9 times. I'm going to stack 3 sets of 3. So just did this another 2 times because I wanted 3 of these frames. And that's some pretty heavy cardstock, 110 pound Michaels Recollections cardstock. I wanted it to be thick and sturdy. I didn't want to use foam tape. So here I'm adding a little 1/8 inch score tape around the edge. I'm going to put this piece of acetate on this frame, the one that says a little kindness goes a long way. Right, that's what it says. A little kindness goes a long way. Look at me. I can read that backwards. And I used score tape here because I wanted a really good seal. I have a plan for this a little bit later, but right now we're just going to build these frames. So I centered that as much as I could on there, and I adhered it down. And I went back afterwards with my scissors and I trimmed it off. I didn't want to worry about centering things before I stuck it to my frame. And those acetate pieces are all A2 size, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. My frames are not. They're a little bit smaller, so I didn't want to have to trim it all up and all that one. This is super easy to do. So I did that with those other frames and the other pieces of acetate, the stenciled piece and the other stamped piece, and I just made 3 frames that look just like that. And here I was trying to figure out which order I wanted them in. Did I want the sentiment in the front? Did I want this, the one with the stenciling? Where did I want all the bits and pieces? Because they're going to add to the depth that's inside here. And then I needed a frame, so I used this Tim Holtz paper. It's like a aqua metallic kind of paper. I used that to cut another frame. I had left everything taped together so that I didn't have to worry about matching everything up. And I just used my Scotch removable tape there. I never have a problem. It is probably my favorite supply in my craft room currently. And here I was just checking to see what I thought. And then I was like, sequins. Sequins would go good in here. And if you know me at all, you know that I don't make shaker cards, like, ever. I don't really make interactive cards. I don't really make shaped cards. And I don't really make shaker cards. And this is Amanda's style. I usually color, but this is a collaboration I do with her. It's my very favorite collaboration every month. We usually kind of pick a theme and run with it. And this month she said, how about we do the same stamp set? Here we are, using the same stamp set. And I cannot wait to see what her video looks like, because she's used this set in a video before. Like I said, Crafty YouTuber Hop, she did that. Oh, here I have a few sequins in between the layers, and I'm going to layer this one on top. I'm going to add a few more sequins, and I'm going to add the next one on top. And then I'm going to top it all with this frame. And I get like this self-enclosed shaker that has several layers to it. I did use the flat sequins, so they slide around in there. They're not super shaky like if I had built a really thick shaker, but they're shaky enough. Those sequins are by Buttons Galore, and they're the Thankful Mix. And then I was going to just stick this down, but I decided I was going to use liquid adhesive because now I'm adhering it to some Yupo paper that's got a texture to it because I ran it through that embossing folder. And then I found these beads. I've had these clear glass micro beads forever and a decade. I just put a tiny bit of them. Can you hear that? That is the jar. This jar is probably 20 years old, and I still have it because those things last forever. So while that was drying, I pulled everything out to do the card here, and I had trimmed off the rest of the alcohol panel that was on the outside. And here I'm just stamping the inside that says, "So very thankful for you." And I used that Lawn Fawn ink or Hero Arts ink or whatever one it was, kind of coordinating color. I think it's a Hero Arts shadow ink in Tide Pool. Yeah. And then I did stencil on a little bit using that circular motion stencil for the inside. So I just thought it added just a cute little touch. Pay attention right here. So I'm finishing up my card here, and I use my bone folder to always recrease my card bases before I add my card fronts. And then I decided that I was just going to use some liquid adhesive to adhere this shaker panel, I guess you could now call it, shaker focal panel, to my card base here. And I just think it's so pretty. I think it has so much depth and dimension to it. I love it. I just truly love it. I was so very glad that she decided to do this collaboration with me months ago, and that we do this every month. She has become one of my very best friends inside of YouTube and out. Here I'm going to show you. I'm trying to show the depth that's in here because of those different layers of acetate and having the white panels between them. It just adds so much depth and dimension. I will have Amanda's video linked below. Make sure you hop over to her channel and let her know that I sent you over. Here are some pictures of my card. I absolutely hope that you enjoyed this video today, and I appreciate you stopping by. Please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and as I always say, give cards generously. Bye!